Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
वॉचो ऐप पे देखो एक ओटीटी के दाम पे सारे ओटीटी शान से।
Easy does it for Australia in Antigua then. They register a comprehensive win to begin their Super 8's campaign over Bangladesh at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in North Sound, Antigua. We look back on that first Super 8 game for Australia and Bangladesh on Maruti Suzuki Arena. Presents ESPNcricinfo Timeout, powered by Dish TV Watcho, with Tom Moody and Tamim Iqbal giving us company. Thank you for your time, gentlemen, Tom and Tamim. Tom, I'll start with you. That was quite comprehensive and as clinical as it gets from Australia.
Yeah, it was a good performance. Obviously it's a shame that the weather sort of interrupted the second half of the game, because Australia would have liked to have sort of batted through and chased down the total. But they'll be well pleased with that. Another good bowling performance from them after winning the toss, again, Warner and Head at the top of the order, sort of getting them off to the start they needed.
Tamim, I'll come to you now, and with pretty much a question that's followed Bangladesh through most of this campaign. It is the batting which is just not coming through for them.
Yeah, definitely. It's the top order, and then if you see the whole tournament for Bangladesh, 7 to 15 overs is the time that Bangladesh is struggling really bad. Starting from the game one, even today, we had a decent start. I won't say it was a great start, but 7 to 15th over, this is where we lost the plot. And I think Bangladesh really needs to start thinking how they need to approach the next game if we want to do something well in this World Cup and going forward.
Yeah, that is perhaps the last bit of this game till when Bangladesh were competing. If you look at the scores, Tom, 57 for 1 in 8 overs. Bangladesh had a 4-over spell which had got them 40 runs, and it looked like they could be upping the ante, but that's when Adam Zampa steps in, and as he does ever so often for Australia at T20 World Cups, gets the key wicket, and then Bangladesh never recover.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I was intrigued to watch this game because, Bangladesh is a dangerous side, and we all know that, and I think surface that's going to offer some turn, but this surface in Antigua is a pretty good batting surface. But I just felt that Bangladesh played a brand of cricket was I would label to stay in the contest, not win the contest. So they were just trying to stay there and hold on instead of taking it to Australia with the bat and knowing that they needed to score something around the range of 170. It was nearly like they held back because they were just trying to stay there and be competitive instead of, step up out of those shadows and say, no, we're going to be more than competitive here. We're going to take the game on and get that 170. And that would have challenged Australia.
Yes, weigh in on that, Tamim, because Najmul Hossain Shanto, with his first significant contribution of this tournament with his 41, but it comes of 36 balls. So you share the same sentiment as Tom there?
Absolutely agree with Tom. I think if there was one batsman who was looking different, it was Thwart. I think as soon as he came in, he was taking on Australia's bowlers. That's the mentality that Bangladesh batsmen need to play, especially against teams like Australia, India, because if you play the safe cricket, you're not going to go too far, because you have to do something different, something special to beat these guys. In Bangladesh batting lineup, I think Thwart innings was something that for others to see, and you have to do counter-attacking batting, especially against bowling like this. As I mentioned in my last interview, Zampa has been always very successful against Bangladesh. When you have 3-4 quality fast bowlers, when a spinner comes, normally batsmen tend to take easy and go hard at him. This is where Zampa comes in, and he did exactly the same today.
Yeah, when it comes to trying something different, we did see a glimpse of that from Bangladesh. So, Tamim, I want you to weigh in on that move to send Rishad Hossain at number 4. Was that something you agreed with?
I won't mind that, because at that time Bangladesh needed runs, and look like it, Australia were going to bowl spinners in that particular small period of 2-4 overs. So Rishad can hit. We haven't seen it in this World Cup, but we have seen it in international cricket that he is a good striker against spinners. I don't mind that move. at least they're thinking something different, and that didn't pay off. That's a different part. But me personally didn't mind that move.
Right. As Tamim points out, Tawhid Hridoy was the standout batter. He made a quick-fire 40, which was instrumental in Bangladesh getting to 140. It did look like they might touch or cross 150, but then that's when Pat Cummins with a hat-trick. Tom, is there anything Pat Cummins can't do? Keeps winning World Cups for fun, now taking World Cup hat-tricks?
At the moment, no. Most of the things he's doing pretty well. And the funny thing is that in his post-match interview after receiving the player of the match, he didn't even know it was a hat-trick. One of the players, I think it was Marcus Stoinis, had to sort of prompt him and say, oh, by the way, do you realise you've just got a hat-trick? So, that's, again, a bit of charm in that. But, look, Pat Cummins is, he's really evolved as a T20 bowler over the last period of time. I think the time he spent in the IPL and bowling the overs he did there, I think he's done his bowling the world of good. But again, that Australian team is lucky enough to have a number of world-class bowlers that are all contributing and making it easy for each other.
Yeah. Now moving to the second part of the game. Tamim, when we speak about the moves Bangladesh made, the other tactical decision for this game was the one to get Mehidy Hasan in place of Jaqar Ali. Two parts to this question. The first, which we saw in the bowling, that was a clear ploy to go in with an off-spinner to Travis Head and David Warner, but it meant that you lost the overs of pace, which had been so probing Bangladesh's pacers the way they've bowled in the power play so far. So was that something that they may look back upon and wonder if they could have done it differently?
No, I was expecting Mehidy to play, especially against two lefties at the top and who has been doing so well for Australia. But what I didn't like, and I was a bit surprised as well, that Tanzim Shakib has been your go-to bowler in this World Cup, and he's just bowling 1 over out of 12 overs that that Bangladesh bowled. He is the one who is giving you early wickets. He's the one who's picking up early wickets and bowling the best among all the fast bowlers. So that was a bit surprising for me. Mehidy playing, I was expecting because he bowls pretty tight with the new ball, and he did a decent job today. If you see 4 overs for 20 odd runs, he was not bad. But you need to, when you're playing and specialist against bowling against lefties, you need to pick wickets, and that's the most important thing. And this is what I felt.
All right. To the other side of that coin, Tom, David Warner and Travis Head, Bangladesh tried to throw the match up, but they went about it and it didn't make any difference eventually.
No, it didn't. But I agree with Tamin. I think it was certainly the right move by Bangladesh to bring Mehidy in. He's a very fine bowler, and on another day, I'm sure he'll challenge the Australians. We also got to take into consideration the ball would have got a little bit damp in the outfield because of the weather that was coming and going. So that makes it harder for the spinners. But I think again, David Warner has shown everyone in the world why Australia have picked him in this World Cup. A lot of people were questioning why isn't Fraser McGurk in this Australian squad? Why is David Warner there? And I think David Warner again has proved exactly why he's there. You needed a calm head in that situation. Could have easily lost 2 or 3 wickets and suddenly we're chasing the game. But he's done this on a couple of occasions in this World Cup where he's been the mature player that's held fast. When there's been a little bit of challenging, a few challenging overs, he's managed to navigate them well.
Yeah, while we are on Warner, he's had a varied run of knocks. If you look just in these 5 knocks he's played so far, there was that slower 50 against Oman, which was important because wickets were lost. He raced off the blocks against England, and now this one here. Tamim, a lot of lessons for some of Bangladesh's batters to take as well, just from David Warner. Of course, there's the experience, but also that ability to just play different roles based on the situation.
Yeah, definitely. I think he has been batting quite well. And if you see most of the games that he has batted, he has been quite aggressive. And when the time needed, he batted according to the situation. Bangladesh had a chance today. Yes, we didn't have a great start, but we still had wickets in hand. If you see, Shanto was batting on 40 odd. That was the time where he should have carried on and let others play around him. Yes, the wicket was around for 160, 170, 180 could have been a very good score. But if you still score 160, 165, you'll still have a chance, because Bangladesh has been bowling quite well in this tournament. But 140s won't take you far.
So when you look at these recurring batting issues for Bangladesh, Tamim, do you think it's a question of ability, or is it more mindset?
I think ability is there for sure. I think it's the mindset to take on the best bowlers in the world. You have to have that mindset. You anywhere getting out, that happens. That's part of cricket. But you have to take it on. If you get set, if you take on the best bowlers, the whole plan changes for opposition. And you don't have to score 200 or 220. You just need to score 160, 170 to give your team a chance of doing something. But by playing safe, if you're scoring 140, 140, it's going to be difficult. New York, St. Vincent wicket were different. 140 were winning scores, but in Antigua, as Tom said, the wicket looks extremely good for batting. You have to take those extra risks, which Towhid Hridoy showed the whole batting line of Bangladesh, that how it can be done. So I hope we don't need to look too far. Someone in your team is doing it quite regularly. I think Bangladesh can look into Towhid Hridoy, the way he's approaching and the way he's batting at the moment.
Tom, the next stop for Australia is Kingstown, where they play Afghanistan. They have so far played most of their games in Antigua and in Barbados. Now they move to the one Caribbean venue, which has proved to be the trickiest for batters. But it bodes well that their batting, if you look at all the games they've played so far, most of the batting lineup, barring Mitch Marsh, has been faring all right.
Yeah, look, everyone seems to be in pretty good form and good spirits, but this is going to be a completely different challenge. In St Vincent, we've seen so far the games there, the ball turning quite alarmingly, and that's going to be right up Afghanistan's street when it comes to the resources they have available with ball in hand. Afghanistan's challenge will be runs. Can they score enough runs, whether they're setting a total or chasing whatever total that Australia managed to get.
And Tamim, for Bangladesh, they will stay put here in North Sound, Antigua, and it's India next. What do you want them to correct and improve upon in this quick turnaround? It's just about 36 hours to the start of that game.
Yeah, they won't have much time, but yeah, it's the runs, I think. They need to put up runs if they're batting and challenge India. India and Bangladesh has always been good cricketing games whenever they come across. And I hope if Bangladesh bat first, they at least target to get something 160, 170 and then challenge India, because, even if the bowling attack that India has, it will be difficult. It won't be an easy thing. But this is, if Bangladesh wants to qualify for the semis, this is what they need to do.
I'll just correct my poor calculation. It's not 36 hours to the start of that game, it's 36 hours to the end of that game. My bad on that. Let's tuck in then to a rapid fire review of this contest. Tom, you're aware of the drill. Tamim, you've been part of it too. You'll have 20 seconds to just quickly recap some of the points that we may have already covered from this game. I will start with you, Tom. What was the most impressive aspect of Australia's bowling performance?
I think once again, Mitchell Starc taking a wicket in his very first over just sets the tone for the bowling unit. They dovetail perfectly together as a unit. Zampa again stepping up in those big moments, as soon as the power play's over, picking up a couple of wickets, and Pat Cummins with a hat-trick. Well, what else can you say?
Tamim, was Najmul Hossain Shanto guilty of going too slow?
I think if he was batting the way he was batting, he should have carried the whole innings and try and get his strike rate up. But he got out at the wrong time.
Back to you, Tom. How important are the contributions with the ball from Stoinis and Maxwell to Australia's cause?
Yeah, I think that it just gives Mitch Marsh, the captain, the flexibility with his bowling attack if one bowler has a bad day. And I quite like the idea of Maxwell also as the off spinner. He's obviously a completely different discipline to what Zampa offers, so it gives them that variety in those middle overs.
To you, Tamim, was it the right move to send Rishad Hussain at number 4?
I don't mind that call.
Okay. Tom, final question to you. What boxes do you want Australia to check, if any?
I think Australia are pretty much on track in most departments. There's one area, I suppose, the captain Mitch Marsh would like to find some form in the next couple of games. So if he can get away with, an innings before, the next phase of Australia continue to perform.
All right. And to you, Tamim, is Bangladesh's batting going to be the difference between them competing or not in the Super 8s?
Definitely. This has been the challenge throughout the tournament. Now they are playing in a good wicket. There should be any reason for them not scoring. Antigua looks a brilliant track to bat. And I hope in the next game they need to step up and score those runs and give their bowling unit something to defend.
All right, then. We have Australia versus Bangladesh covered. Thank you so much, Tom, Moody and Tamim Iqbal, for your company. Australia get the 2 points a few hours after India began the Super 8 Group 1 campaign with 2 points of their own against Afghanistan. The matches come thick and fast. The place to follow all the action is the ESPNcricinfo mobile app. So download it if you haven't already. It'll have you covered with the fastest scores and a lot more as the Super 8 action intensifies at the T20 World Cup. This evening, Indian time, subcontinental clock, you have England versus South Africa. That promises to be a mouth-watering contest. We'll be building up to it, so be sure to join us just before toss time on Maruti Suzuki Arena. Presents ESPNcricinfo Timeout, powered by Dish TV Watcho.
Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
वॉचो ऐप पे देखो एक ओटीटी के दाम पे सारे ओटीटी शान से।